flawless basis. But you know, there are some, and it's tough to find these people in the world of media and politics. There's so many little rats and so many little scoundrels, but every now and then you run into a real one. Every now and then there's one person who's just a complete anomaly compared to the rest. And for me, at least at Fox News, the person who is that anomaly, who represents that anomaly, is Judge Jeanine Pirro. She's just got this it factor, you know. She's not showing up on TV to deliver empty, bland talking points, typical milquetoast nonsense. She's there to freaking expose the truth. She's there to say the truth. And she's also there to snap back at the BS. And boy, does she have her hands full.
Now here's something that people don't know about President Trump.
You know those moments where
who turns a blind eye against him. Who thinks he's a racist, he thinks he's all this and all that is bad.
Just sitting there hoping someone
but here's something that you need to see to the American people and know and truly understand that President Trump is truly caring and giving. And he's very generous, he really is. And you're about to see something that you probably never saw before about President Trump.
So let's roll the tape. Alright, so like I said in the intro, Jeanine Pirro takes the words right out of my mouth.
That he is promoting this complete false lie, that Haitian illegal migrants.
Now these are the Democrats talking bad about him right now. Okay, but watch this video, keep watching this, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That he is truly caring and truly giving. Look at this shit.
The Democrats are the party that said he's a Putin asset, he's a Russian puppet. The Democrats are the ones who signed affidavits and lied to a court so that they could spy on a president of the United States. The Democrats are the ones who said that we're destroying democracy. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. Let me tell you something about Donald Trump. Donald Trump is one of the most generous people
you see that,
ever
ladies and gentlemen?
He does all
you see
kinds
that?
of things that people have no idea.
Look at this.
About.
Look, watch.
By the way, if he were selfish, he'd take his money and tell all of us to go F ourselves. Well, based upon the way this country is treated.
This Democrat has a problem out there.
About him
Don't tell me he's selfish.
Absolute fool.
Look at her.
Donald Trump is the only one who moved the
she hates him. She likes him. She supports Donald Trump. She's against Donald Trump.
Why aren't Jews voting for him?
Look at this. Look at this.
Jessica, but I know the man and the facts rely and he lie anything you say.
Apparently,
you know, I've recorded so many videos on the exact same topic, and it's this one thing, this one little bit of propaganda that frankly bothers me so much. You hear it coming out of the left constantly, that Donald Trump's a bad person, he's got a history of being a bad person. But the way leftists present this idea is by only ever cherry-picking the data or the information, or of course the sources. They'll only ever present to you stories of people who have crossed paths with Donald Trump. In most cases, Trump fired these people, or you just have greedy individuals who are trying to go after him for their 15 seconds in the spotlight. You know, that's the story the mainstream media shows you, but they never actually show you the stories that start to humanize the man.
Exactly.
It's incredibly frustrating. You know, sure, Donald Trump delivers a healthy dose of hyperbole and sometimes unexpected wild card statements. Sure, he can certainly be controversial, as the media would put it, but in terms of the media's actual presentation of the man, if you start to do your research, you might find out that the media is purposely trying to overshadow the good with the bad, and in many cases the phony. Contrary to the prevailing narrative that paints Trump as a villain, numerous examples of his generosity and his commitment to helping communities. I mean, for instance, Trump has been known to quietly provide support to individuals in need well before he was a politician. He was helping people just to help people, and not doing it just because it made him look good in his pursuit of political power. For years, Trump supported causes that included veterans, police officers, and children's hospitals, and often without the fanfare and all the media blitz that accompanies many political figures' philanthropic pursuits and adventures. You know, a lot of the times Donald Trump helped people, not expecting anything in return, and not doing it publicly as a media event to collect, you know, PR brownie points. A lot of the things that Donald Trump did for people, we only learned about years later.
When that tragic incident happened to Jennifer Hudson, this name was Jennifer Hudson, it was Donald J. Trump that helped her and took her in, and a lot of people don't know that.
You see that?
I'm a blue-collar guy.
Do you see that?
There's probably about 800 people in my small town where we're losing jobs.
Shane is a FedEx driver and actually met with Trump backstage at Thursday night's inaugural concert at the Lincoln Memorial.
He goes, Shane, I'm going to do something special for you. I'm going to give you $10,000. And my dad's fighting cancer, and he wanted to lift that burden and make it easier for my family.
Trump, he has his name on more buildings in New York City than any other person. And besides that, he is one of the most generous people I know.
And he wants you and your mom to have a very special check. And when we talk about Donald Trump, when he gives out checks, we're not talking chump change here. So, look at that. You know how much that's for? You get all those zeros right?
There's tons of these stories, and you can play them back to back to back to back, but the media won't. And that's an important thing, and I'd say that's a frustrating thing, because when you hear Democrats like Jessica Tarlov spew vicious personal attacks against the man's character, you just wish that you could play these clips to the masses, to millions upon millions of people. So many people just don't know. The left points the finger and says, he's racist, he's hateful, he's selfish, he's only in it for himself. You know, that certainly tracks. Losing over $1 billion of net worth, getting hit with indictment after indictment, your close friends and relatives being subject to horrible personal attacks and threats. Yeah, I'm sure Donald Trump's just selfish and doing it for himself, but anyways, they say this stuff, and it's just simply untrue. It was untrue before he became president, and it was untrue during his first term as president. His initiatives during his presidency, like criminal justice reform, for instance, demonstrated a willingness to address systemic injustices. I mean, that's something few politicians dared to tackle in such a meaningful way on both sides of the political aisle. But Donald Trump did it. He had a willingness to do what other politicians were too cowardly to do. You know, he tends to do that. The right thing, regardless of how many people he's going to get angry and how many arrows he's going to take to the chest, the retaliation from the antagonistic dark forces. You know, contrary to what the left tells you, again, Trump actually does the thing. Trump actually shows up on the ground. He meets people where they are, shows genuine concern, and actually acts quickly and effectively and efficiently to find some sort of remedy, to do something, to be productive. A very simple concept, but it's tough in the world, and certainly tough in the world of politics. But again, Trump's track record speaks for itself. His engagement with communities, particularly the African American and Hispanic community, his economic work resulted in record low unemployment rates before the pandemic struck. His administration created opportunity zones that were designed to spur economic development in distressed communities. This, by the way, was a plan that led to billions of dollars in private investment in areas that had previously been ignored by traditional government programs. These aren't actions of a man who's out to destroy America on behalf of Vladimir Putin. These are the actions of a man who genuinely wants to see other people and his country prosper. But he's a racist. I mean, he actually went on the ground in Harlem and in the Bronx.
Do you want to see how much money you're eligible for? If you were in a car crash within the last 2 years, that was
the Bronx.
What are you here for? I'm here to watch the Trump gathering rally here.
What do you think about him being here?
I think it's great. I think it's dope. From my generation, from what I know, it's the first time president has actually came to the hood. I know presidents have came to the Bronx before, but we're talking about Woodlawn, Riverdale. He has came to Morrisania, South Bronx, the hood. So I respect that.
But according to the left, he's a racist who hates black people because of some hearsay related to the Central Park 5. You know, give me a break. And even if that was true, it was so long ago, the idea that people can't grow, evolve, and heal is insane. I'm not saying that the accounts are true, but even if they were, you can't condemn someone to eternity because they might have done something at some point that would have been perceived by today's ethical standards as, well, unethical. You gotta look at people's actions over long periods of time. And throughout Donald Trump's long, storied, totally documented in front of cameras history, I mean, in a way, he's the first true reality TV star. Throughout this history, throughout his life, he's shown that he's not void of compassion. He's shown that he cares about people and that he cares about people's businesses. And he involves himself in other people's businesses and gives people money and support when other people thought they were crazy. He's shown that when he sees an injustice, he steps up and tries to fix it, and even takes on the cost personally. I mean, if you think about it, that's what his whole presidency was all about back in 2016. He saw a broken nation, or a nation in decline, and he said, I'm going to put my own money into this game and try to fix it. And in interpersonal relationships, even with people that he's not necessarily super close with in the past, when they've met hard times, he's been there for them. You know, there's a lot of people with money, but not too many people reach into their pocket and open their wallet for other people like that. There's a lot of very rich people that I've come across who you have a hard time paying for dinner, let alone all the selfless acts that Donald Trump is engaged in. Jeanine Pirro hits the freaking nail on the head. Every time I hear leftists say this nonsense that Trump's a bad person, I always get so frustrated, and I just want one person to respond
I get frustrated too.
Facts, and that's exactly what Jeanine Pirro did there.
Right,
and for
exactly.
that, I tip my hat to her. Anyways,
Absolutely.
that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. And
now, what do you think about President Trump now? You think you still think he's racist? You still think he doesn't care? He does care. He cares about everybody. He cares for the American people. Think about that. You think about that. For those of you out there who hates Trump, think about what you just saw in this video. It's all true. It's all true.